The Story of Martin Luther King Jr., a biography book for new readers by Christine Platt, illustrated by Steffi Walthall. This is a Rockridge Press book dedicated for everyone continuing Martin's great work. Thank you. Chapter 1, A King is Born. Meet Martin Luther King Jr. As a young boy, Martin Luther King Jr. wanted to be a fireman, then a doctor. He loved singing and even considered being a performer. But Martin never thought he'd be a civil rights leader. When Martin was born, the United States was a segregated country. Black and white citizens did almost everything separately. Their families often lived in different neighborhoods. Their children even went to different schools. Whenever they had to do things together, like ride the bus, black people were not treated fairly. Even as a child, Martin knew segregation was wrong. He believed everyone deserved to be treated equally. When Martin became an adult, he would help lead the civil rights movement to end segregation. How did Martin go from dreaming of being a fireman to giving his famous "I Have a Dream" speech? What inspired him to end segregation and fight for equality? Well, let's find out more about Martin's life and how he changed America. Quote, "There was a pretty strict system of segregation in Atlanta for a long time. I could not go swimming." Where? Martin's America. Martin was born on January 15th, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. He was named after his father, Reverend Martin Luther King Sr., a popular minister at Ebenezer Baptist Church. Martin's mother, Alberta, trained as a school teacher. More than 60 years before Martin was born, slavery was legal in the South. It was one of the main reasons the Civil War began on April 12, 1861, when Abraham Lincoln was president. The North wanted to end slavery and fight against the South. One of President Lincoln's goals was to end slavery once and for all. He did many things to make this happen, including signing the Emancipation Proclamation. The North won the Civil War, and slavery ended in 1865. The United States then began its Reconstruction era. During this time, Southern states created black codes and Jim Crow laws. These were rules that required black citizens to do most things separately from white citizens. Even if black workers did the same job as white workers, black workers were paid less. Over time, these laws became segregation laws, which was a form of racism. When Martin was born, segregation laws still existed, so he experienced racism in his life, even as a child. Martin's first best friend was a white boy, but the boy's father told them they couldn't play together. They couldn't be friends anymore because Martin was black. Martin was confused. He told his mother, and she explained that this was how things were under segregation. Martin felt very sad. He hoped segregation would end so he'd never have to lose another friend. Martin's childhood experiences of racism played a big role in the type of leader he would become. His life played a big role in the type of country America would become too. Let's jump into the think tank. How would you feel if you had to stop being friends with someone because of their skin color? Write it in the comments and we can talk about it soon. When? Let's go through this timeline. Time for some trivia. The first African slaves arrived in Jamestown, Virginia, 1619. The Civil War begins April 1861. How many years was that? 10 seconds. Enter your answer in the comments.
If you said 242, you're correct.
The Civil War ends 1865. Can you tell me how many years the Civil War went on for? 10 seconds. Enter your answer in the comments. If you said 4, you're correct. The 13th Amendment ends slavery, December 1865, and Martin Luther King Jr. is born, January 1929. Can you tell me how many years between those dates? 10 seconds. Enter your answer in the comments. If you said 64, you're correct. If you like what you were watching and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button so we can keep reading stories together. If you'd like this book for your own library, hit the link in the description and you can get yours today. This and more coming soon. Stay tuned for Chapter 2, The Early Years. Growing up in Atlanta. This was the story of Martin Luther King Jr., a biography book for new readers by Christine Platt. Illustrated by Steffi Walthall. See you soon. I love you. Thanks for watching. This is a CJT production.